I sat in the doctor's waiting room. The plastic chair dug into my back. My phone buzzed sharply. Sophia's name flashed on the screen, my only daughter. I answered with a hopeful smile. Her voice cut through, cold and flat. "Mom, we're leaving for Asia tomorrow. I sold your lakeside cabin and van. We needed the money. Bye." She hung up, the words stabbed like icy knives. My heart pounded hard. I stared at the phone, frozen. 40 years of raising her, sacrificing everything, now discarded like worthless trash. Pain twisted deep inside. Tears blurred my eyes. How could she betray me? Anger surged through me. My hands trembled, gripping the phone. Strangers coughed and flipped magazines nearby. They didn't notice my world collapsing. I took a shaky breath. A faint smile crept up. Sophia didn't know my secret. Not yet. The nurse called my name. I stood, legs unsteady. The checkup blurred past. The doctor said I was healthy for 58. Just rest more, eat better. Eat. I nodded, mind elsewhere. Sophia's voice echoed. "Sold my cabin? Our sanctuary. Arthur and I bought it when she was 10. Summers are filled with laughter. Now gone for her trip with Marcus. The van was Arthur's pride. He polished it every Sunday. His scent lingered in the seats. My chest tightened. I walked home slowly. City noise buzzed around me. Cars honked. People rushed by. I replayed her words. Each one stung deeper. Betrayal sank in. I reached my porch. Beatrice, my neighbor, waved. "Eleanor, you look pale. You okay?" Her eyes showed worry. I forced a weak smile. "Rough day, that's all." She stepped closer. I heard something odd. "About Sophia?" My heart skipped. "What do you mean?" We sat in my kitchen. Tea steamed between us. Beatrice leaned in. "Sophia came by last week, said you were sick, needed money for treatment." My stomach churned. "Sick? I never said that." Beatrice frowned. "She showed papers, claimed you signed the cabin over." I froze. I signed nothing. She sighed. "She met a notary, looked official. Now I'm not sure." Anger flared hotter. Sophia forged my name. I sipped my tea. "Tell me more." Beatrice hesitated. "She bragged to everyone, said she took control. Your assets were wasted on you." I gripped the cup tightly. "Wasted? I built our life." Beatrice nodded. "She sold the cabin quickly. Used the cash for plane tickets. Luxury bags with Marcus." My jaw clenched. Luxury bags? While I mourned alone? I remembered her visits after Arthur's death. More frequent, too sweet. She brought papers once. "Just routine, Mom, for the estate." I signed in a fog of grief. So naive. Now I saw her plan. She lied about my health, told neighbors I was frail. To justify stealing everything. Beatrice left with a hug. I paced the living room. Family photos mocked me. Sophia at 5, giggling in my arms. Where was that girl? Replaced by this cold schemer. I sacrificed everything. Worked double shifts as a nurse. Skipped art classes. Shelved travel dreams. Paid for her college, her wedding, all out of love. Now this. Pain mixed with fury. But my smile returned. Arthur left something. A manila envelope is in my dresser. "Open if needed," he said before his heart attack. 6 months ago over breakfast, his last words, "Love you always." I pulled out the envelope. My fingers shook slightly. Inside were deeds, bank statements, Arthur's neat handwriting. "For you, my love, our secret fortune." My eyes widened. Properties I never knew. A patented eco-device he invented. Millions in accounts. I owned it all. Even Sophia's condo building. He hid it to protect us. From greed like hers. I laughed softly. Dark irony warmed me. Sophia thought me helpless. A poor widow? She had no clue. My strength stirred. The phone pinged. A text from Sophia. Deposited your share 30% fair, right? I stared incredulous. Fair? After stealing my memories? I didn't reply. Instead, I dialed Mr. Harlan, my lawyer friend. I need you, I said. He listened calmly. Come tomorrow morning. I hung up. Night settled outside. Shadows danced in the house. I sat by the window. Stars glimmered faintly. Arthur said they guided us. Tonight, they sparked my resolve. Sophia would face her actions. But first, I let pain linger. For the daughter I thought I knew. Beatrice knocked again. One more thing. I opened the door. What now? She whispered. Sophia told everyone you were cruel, neglected her, always harsh with rules. My breath caught. Cruel? Me? She nodded. To justify taking your things? Lies on top of lies. My heart ached. She painted me as a monster to neighbors I trusted, all for her gain. I thanked Beatrice, shut the door gently. Pain burned, but anger fueled me. Sophia's stories spread, tainting my name. I sat at the kitchen table. Arthur's photo gazed back. You knew, didn't you? I whispered. The envelope lay open. Deeds for the condo building, eco-device royalties, hidden wealth. Arthur, a mechanic by day, inventor by night. So clever, so secret. Sophia helped with his funeral. Or so I thought. Now I saw her visits differently. Snooping, planning, suggesting I sell, all calculated. I tucked the papers away. Tomorrow, I'd fight back. Tonight, I grieved. 40 years of sacrifice for her cold heart, I whispered in the quiet. You'll see, Sophia. Justice waits. Morning sunlight spilled in. I dressed carefully, simple gray blouse, modest skirt. The mirror showed tired eyes, but they held fire. I walked to Beatrice's house. Tell me everything she said. We sat with coffee. She was smug, Beatrice began. Said you were too frail. She handled the sales. I leaned forward. Forged my name? Beatrice shrugged. Seems so. Bribed the notary with cash. Details unfolded. Secret meetings, fake stamps, quick sales, cash spent on trips, jewels. Marcus is smirking beside her. My stomach twisted. My van is gone for their pleasure. Cabin memories erased. She bragged door to door. Taking control at last. Neighbors nodded politely, but whispered doubts. Beatrice finished. I'm sorry, Eleanor. I hugged her. Thank you for honesty. Walking home, it clicked. Manipulation laid bare. Lies about my health. Doctor visits, she pushed, to build her case. Mom needs care, she told them. All false. I was strong, healthy still. Back home, I sat with Arthur's photo. You planned for this, I said softly. His envelope changed everything. Power in my hands. Sophia is in Asia now, living large on my loss. I smiled darkly. She didn't know. Irony felt sweet. Pain eased slightly. I prepared for Mr. Harlan. Notes organized, evidence mounting, betrayal cut deep. But I rose above. No more victim. Time to act. The clock moved slowly. I made a sandwich. It tasted bland. Thoughts swirled. 40 years. Sacrifice after sacrifice. Love poured out, returned with theft. Anger simmered, but control steadied me. Arthur's secret gave me power. Sophia's voice echoed. Cold, final. Bye, like I was nothing. I crushed the napkin. Enough. A knock came. The postman with the mail, bills as usual, but one letter stood out. From the notary. Urgent. I tore it open. A confession inside. Sophia paid me. Forged your signature, sorry. Proof in my hands. My pulse raced. Beatrice must have tipped him. Or guilt broke him. Didn't matter, I had evidence. Tucked it away safely. More strength for my plan. Sunlight faded. Neighbors walked dogs outside. Their lives are normal. Mine upended, but hope flickered. Arthur's gift. My lifeline. I whispered thanks. To him. To the stars. Betrayal birthed resolve. Sophia unaware. Her reckoning neared. I slept restlessly. Dreams of cabin laughter, mixed with her cold voice. Morning arrived, time to fight. Memories flooded my mind as I sat at the kitchen table. The lakeside cabin came alive in my thoughts. Arthur flipping burgers on the grill, smoke curling upward. Sophia, barely 10, was running across the shore with friends, her laughter echoing over the water. Those summers felt perfect, filled with warmth and connection. We'd gather for holidays, exchanging gifts by the cabin's fireplace. Snow dusted the windows while Arthur spun tales, his voice drawing us close. I sacrificed so much for those moments. Long nursing shifts stretched 18 hours, leaving me drained. I skipped art classes, shelved dreams of painting, and poured every penny into Sophia's education and weddings. Love fueled every choice. Sacrifice became my rhythm, my heart beating for her happiness. Those days seemed distant now, tainted by Sophia's betrayal. I remembered her visits after Arthur's death. She'd bring coffee, sit with me, but her eyes darted too quickly. Her words carried a new edge. "Mom, this house is too big for you now," she'd say, her tone sharp and dismissive. "You're getting older. You should downsize." I brushed it off then, lost in grief, but doubt crept in, whispering in my mind. Something wasn't right. Her smiles felt forced, like a mask slipping. I caught her on hushed calls with Marcus. "Yes, soon," she'd murmur, hanging up fast when I entered. Suspicion grew, a quiet storm building inside me. Her words turned to poison over time. Trust crumbled like the sandcastle Sophia built as a child, washed away by waves of deceit. I saw it in neighbors' pitying glances, their hushed voices. Beatrice had confirmed the lies. Sophia told everyone I was frail, incapable. She claimed I neglected her, ruled her with cruelty. Each lie stung like venom, eroding the love I'd poured into her. I clutched Arthur's photo, his smile steadying me. Then I opened his envelope again. Deeds spilled across the table. Bank statements showed millions, a patent for an eco-friendly device that Arthur invented in secret. My breath caught. I owned properties across town, including Sophia's condo building. Arthur, a mechanic by trade, had built a fortune quietly. He hid it to shield us from greed like hers. I laughed softly, the irony sharp and bitter. Sophia thought me weak, a poor widow scraping by. She had no idea I held power. My fingers traced the papers. Condo deeds in my name. Royalties piling up. Arthur's genius has been hidden for years. I remembered his late nights in the garage, tinkering. "Just a hobby," he'd say, winking. Now I understand. He planned for this for betrayal. My resolve hardened. I decided to act. No more tears. I'd pretend poverty, let Sophia's lies unravel. I'd volunteer at the women's shelter, see real struggle, and plan with Mr. Harlan. Justice would come, quiet but certain. I met Mr. Harlan downtown. His office smelled of old books and coffee. "Eleanor, this is remarkable," he said, scanning the deeds. His glasses slid down his nose. "You own everything she touched." I nodded, voice steady. "She forged my name, bribed a notary. I have proof." He leaned back, curious. "What's your plan?" I smiled thinly. "Let her think she won, for now." He raised an eyebrow. "Risky, but I'll help." Discreetly. We mapped out steps. Nullify the cabin sale, secure the van, take control of my assets, all in secret. I left his office lighter, purpose fueling my steps. Back home, I walked to the shelter. Women there shared stories of loss and survival. Their strength humbled me. I sorted clothes, served meals, and listened to their pain. It grounded me, kept my anger from consuming me. Sophia's text arrived that evening. "We're settled in Asia. You'll be fine, right?" Her condescension burned. I didn't reply. Instead, I visited Beatrice again. "She's still talking," Beatrice said, pouring tea. "Told Mrs. Carter you were cruel, always controlling her." My chest tightened. "Controlling? I gave her everything." Beatrice sighed. "She's saying you neglected her needs, justified the sales." I clenched my fists. Lies spread like wildfire, tainting my name. I returned home, anger simmering. Photos lined the walls, mocking me with happier times. Sophia at 16 beaming at her birthday. Arthur is teaching her to drive the van. I sacrificed my youth for her, worked nights while she slept, paid for her dreams while mine faded. Now she painted me as the villain. I sat with Arthur's papers again. His letter spoke to me. "Protect yourself, my love," I whispered back. "I will." My plan took shape. Let Sophia revel in her theft. Let her return broken. I'd watch her face reality. The shelter taught me resilience. Those women rebuilt from nothing. I could too. Weeks passed. I kept up appearances. Neighbors offered pity, believing Sophia's tales. "Poor Eleanor abandoned," they'd whisper. I nodded, played the part. But inside, I burned with purpose. Mr. Harlan called one morning. "The cabin sale's undone. Buyers didn't know it was fraud." My heart lifted. "And the van?" He paused. "Trickier. Sophia used a power of attorney. You signed it, yes?" I froze. That day after Arthur's funeral, papers thrust at me. "For the estate," she'd said. I signed, too broken to read. "She tricked me," I said. He sighed. "We'll fight it. Prove deception." I agreed, voice firm. "Do it." At the shelter, I met Clara, a woman escaping abuse. Her story mirrored mine, betrayed by family, left with nothing. Yet she smiled, teaching me strength. I came home to another letter from the bank. Sophia's condo payments were late. Marcus's debts piled up. I smiled darkly. Their world was cracking, just as I planned. I volunteered more, finding purpose in helping others. Their courage fueled mine. Sophia's lies grew louder. Beatrice reported more. "She told everyone you locked her out as a teen. Cruel," she said. I shook my head. All lies. But each lie sharpened my focus. Night fell. I sat by the window. Stars glittered above. Arthur's words echoed. "You're stronger than you know." I believed him now. Sophia's betrayal cut deep, but it woke me. No more blind love, no more sacrifice without respect. I tucked the papers away. Tomorrow, more steps with Mr. Harlan, evidence stacked in my favor, the notary's confession, bank records, neighbor testimonies. Sophia's web of lies would collapse. I whispered to the stars. "She'll learn, Arthur, soon." Sleep came easier. Dreams mixed cabin laughter with her cold voice, but resolve drowned out pain. I was ready. The days blurred into weeks, each one heavy with purpose. I woke early, sunlight filtering through my curtains. Memories of Sophia as a child haunted me, her tiny hand in mine at the cabin, splashing in the lake. Arthur's laughter as he taught her to fish. Those moments felt like another life. I sacrificed everything for her. Long nursing shifts stole my energy. Dreams of painting faded to dust. Every dollar went to her college, her dreams, and her wedding to Marcus. Love drove me, a fire that never dimmed. Yet she repaid me with lies. Her voice on that call, cold as winter. "We needed the money by." Each memory stung, but I channeled it into action. Sophia's betrayal grew clearer. Beatrice kept me updated. "She's still talking," she said one morning over coffee. "Told the neighbors you starved her as a kid. Cruel rules, she claims." My stomach twisted. Starved her? I worked nights to feed her. Beatrice's eyes softened. I know. But she's convincing. Says you neglected her dreams. Lies piled higher, a tower of deceit. I saw it in neighbors' glances, pity mixed with doubt. Sophia's stories painted me as a monster. Her words, venomous, spread through the neighborhood. The trust I'd built for years crumbled like dry leaves. I thanked Beatrice, my voice steady but burning inside. At the shelter, I found solace. Women like Clara shared their scars, betrayed by husbands, siblings, and children. Their strength inspired me. I sorted blankets, served soup, and listened to their stories. One woman, Maria, spoke of her son stealing her savings. I thought he loved me, she whispered. I nodded, understanding too well. My anger grew, but so did my resolve. Sophia's manipulation wasn't unique. It was greed, plain and simple. I volunteered more, grounding myself. Their courage fueled my plan. I wasn't alone. These women rebuilt from ashes. So would I. Mr. Harlan called often. "The van's tougher," he said one afternoon. "The power of attorney looks legal, but will prove fraud." I gripped the phone. "She tricked me in grief." He paused, thoughtful. "We found the notary. He's nervous. Might confess more." My heart lifted. Evidence mounted. The cabin was mine again. Buyers refunded, unaware of Sophia's lies. I smiled darkly. Her world would crack soon. Back at home, I found a bank notice. Sophia's condo payments overdue. Marcus's debt spiraled, over $100,000 owed. I tucked it away. Another piece for my plan. Sophia's lies grew bolder. Beatrice stopped by again. "She called Mrs. Carter yesterday," she said, stirring her tea. "Said you locked her in her room as a teen. Cruel, heartless." I clenched my jaw. Heartless? I gave her everything. Beatrice sighed. "She's desperate. Marcus left her in Asia, took their cash." My eyes narrowed. "Left her?" Beatrice nodded. "With a younger woman, Sophia's coming back broke." I leaned back, heart racing. Perfect. She'd returned to my terms. I played the poor widow, nodding at neighbors' pity. But inside, I burned with purpose. I set traps carefully. Mr. Harlan suggested a recorder. I bought a small one, hid it in my purse. At the shelter, I tested it. Clara's voice came through clearly. "You're strong, Eleanor. Don't let her break you." I smiled, grateful. Back home, I recorded neighbors. Mrs. Carter hesitated. "Sophia said, 'You were cruel, starved her.'" I pressed gently. "Did I ever seem cruel?" She paused. "No, you were always kind." Her words captured evidence of Sophia's lies. My plan tightened. I'd let her return, let her struggle, then strike. Sophia texted one night, "Back tomorrow. Can I stay with you?" Her tone was softer, desperate. I stared at the screen. "Of course, honey," I replied. My voice hid the storm. She'd face reality soon. I volunteered late at the shelter. Maria hugged me. "You're tougher than you look." I laughed softly. She was right. Arthur's photo watched me at home. His letter echoed. "Protect yourself," I whispered back. "I am." His eco-device patent lay on the table. Millions in royalties, condo deeds in my name, power I'd wield soon. Beatrice knocked the next morning. "Sophia's back," she said, eyes wide. "Looks terrible, thin, pale, alone." I nodded, calm. "She's staying here." Beatrice frowned. "After everything?" I smiled thinly. "She'll learn." Inside, I prepared. Sophia arrived that afternoon. Her suitcase was worn, her eyes red. "Mom, I'm sorry," she stammered. "Marcus left me, took everything." I poured tea, face soft. "I'm here, honey." But my heart was steel. She sat, fragile. "I messed up. Can I stay?" I nodded. "Always. Lies, she'd said. Cruel, neglectful mother. Now she needed me. She unpacked in her old room. I watched, silent. Photos of her as a teen lined the walls. Happy times. I sacrificed my life for those. Now she badmouthed me. I recorded her that night. Mom was always harsh, she told Beatrice on the phone. Neglected me. I had to take the cabin. My recorder caught every word. I smiled in the dark. More proof. Mr. Harlan called later. Condo's under your control now. Eviction notice ready. I nodded. Send it soon. Sophia's lies would bury her. I was no victim, not anymore. Night fell, stars shone outside. I sat by the window, Arthur's words in my mind. You're stronger. I believed him. Sophia slept down the hall. Her betrayal cut deep, but I rose above. The shelter taught me resilience. Clara's smile, Maria's courage. They faced worse and stood tall. I would too. My plan was set. Evidence stacked high. Notary's confession. Recorded lies, bank debts. Sophia's return was my chance. She'd face consequences. I whispered to the stars, "It's time, Arthur." Sleep came steadily. Dreams of justice replaced pain. I was ready to strike. Sophia's return changed the house. Her presence filled the air with tension. She shuffled through her old room, unpacking tattered clothes from a single suitcase. I watched silently, my face soft but my heart hard. Photos on the walls mocked us both. Her at 16, grinning at the cabin. I sacrificing my nights for her dreams. Now she stood here, broken by Marcus's betrayal, yet still spreading lies. I caught her on the phone last night. Mom was cruel, she told Mrs. Carter, her voice low. Always neglected me. My recorder hummed in my purse, capturing every word. Proof piled higher, my plan gaining strength. I kept up the facade of a poor widow. Neighbors dropped by with casseroles, their eyes full of pity. "Poor Eleanor, left alone," they'd whisper. I nodded, thanking them softly. But inside, I burned with purpose. Sophia worked nights now, cleaning offices downtown. She came home exhausted, her hands rough from scrubbing. "It's temporary," she muttered one morning, sipping coffee. Her eyes avoided mine. "I'll fix this, Mom." I smiled gently. "I know, honey." My voice hid the storm. She didn't suspect I held power. Arthur's fortune, my secret weapon, waited in the wings. At the shelter, I found balance. Clara's laughter lifted me as we folded blankets. Maria shared stories of rebuilding her life. Their resilience fueled my resolve. I volunteered daily, serving meals, listening to their pain. It grounded me, kept my anger from boiling over. Back home, I checked Arthur's papers. Deeds for the condo building, royalties from his eco-device, millions in accounts. I owned it all. Sophia lived in my building, unaware. Her eviction notice sat ready with Mr. Harlan. I called him that afternoon. "Everything set?" He paused, voice steady. "Yes. Notice delivered tomorrow." "You sure, Eleanor?" I nodded. "Absolutely." Sophia's lies grew desperate. Beatrice stopped by, her face troubled. "She's at it again," she said, pouring tea. "Told the grocer you starved her as a kid. Cruel mother, she called you." My jaw tightened. "Starved her. I worked double shifts for her." Beatrice sighed. "She's scared. Debts piling up. Marcus left her with nothing." I leaned back, heart steady. "She's back where she belongs." Beatrice frowned. "You're calm, too calm." I smiled thinly. "I've learned patience." Inside, I planned. Sophia's lies would bury her soon. The eviction notice arrived. Sophia found it taped to her condo door. She called me, voice shaking. "Mom, it's a mistake, right? Some company, Arthur Innovations, they're kicking me out." I paused, stirring my tea. "That's strange, honey. Never heard of them." My tone was soft, mask in steel, she stammered. I don't know what to do. Marcus forged my name on loans. I owe thousands. I sighed, playing the part. I'm so sorry. We'll figure it out. But I knew the truth. I owned that company, Arthur's legacy. Her world was crumbling, just as I'd planned. I found another clue that night. In Sophia's room, a diary was tucked under her pillow. Arthur's handwriting on the cover. My heart raced as I opened it. Pages detailed our early years, struggles we hid from her. Then, a bombshell. Sophia found abandoned on a roadside. We took her in, loved her as our own. My breath caught. Adopted. I'd almost forgotten. Arthur insisted we keep it secret to protect her heart. Now it has changed everything. Her lies, her betrayal, stung deeper. I wasn't even her blood, yet I gave her 40 years. I closed the diary, resolving hardening. Mr. Harlan called the next morning. "We've got more," he said, voice low. "Marcus forged Sophia's signature on loans, over $150,000. Evidence is solid." I gripped the phone. "Can we clear her?" He hesitated. "Yes, but it's costly. You sure you want to?" I paused, thinking of the diary. "Start the process, but keep it quiet." I hung up, heart heavy. Sophia didn't deserve my help. Not after her lies, yet part of me wavered. The shelter's women flashed in my mind. Clara's strength, Maria's hope. I could save Sophia, but first she'd face the truth. I set the final trap, invited Sophia to Mr. Harlan's office. "A lawyer can help with the eviction," I said, my voice gentle. She nodded, eyes desperate. "I can't afford it, Mom." I patted her hand. "Don't worry, honey." She believed in the Poor Widow Act. At the shelter, I confided in Clara. She betrayed me, but she's suffering. Clara hugged me. "You're too kind, Eleanor. She doesn't deserve you." I smiled faintly. Kindness wasn't my goal. Justice was. I recorded one last call, Sophia to Beatrice. "Mom neglected me forever. I had to take the cabin." My recorder clicked off. Enough. The meeting day arrived. I dressed carefully, in a simple navy dress. Sophia fidgeted beside me in Mr. Harlan's office. He slid a folder across the desk. "Miss Sophia, read this." She opened it, face paling. Evidence of Marcus's fraud, forged loans. Her name cleared. She gasped. "How? Who paid for this?" Mr. Harlan glanced at me. I took a breath. "I did." Sophia's eyes widened. But you're broke." I smiled, voice firm. "No, Sophia, I own everything. The condo, the cabin, millions from Arthur's eco-device." Her jaw dropped, hands shaking. I leaned forward, voice steady and cold. "You forged my name, lied to neighbors, called me cruel, neglectful," she stammered. "Mom, I was desperate." I held up the diary. "You weren't even mine, found on a road. I gave you 40 years. Her face crumpled. "Adopted. Why didn't you tell me?" I stood, voice cutting. "You didn't deserve the truth. You stole my life." Mr. Harlan intervened. "Your debts are cleared, Sophia." "But the condo's mine. You're out." She sobbed, broken. I felt no pity. Justice tasted bitter but right. Sophia's sobs echoed in Mr. Harlan's office. Her face crumpled, eyes red with shock. I stood tall, my voice steady, cutting through her tears. "You painted me as cruel, Sophia, told lies to neighbors, stole my cabin, my van, my trust." She shook her head, voice breaking. "Mom, I was desperate. Marcus pushed me." I held up a hand. "No excuses. You chose greed over family." The diary lay heavy in my grip. Arthur's words burned in my mind. Adopted, found on a roadside. I loved her as my own, gave her 40 years of sacrifice, yet she betrayed me without remorse. My heart hardened. No more chances. Mr. Harlan cleared his throat, voice calm. Sophia, your debts are cleared, but the condo eviction stands. 30 days. She gasped, trembling. Mom, you can't. I have nowhere to go. I met her eyes, cold and unyielding. You made your choice. You're not my daughter anymore. Her sobs grew louder. Adopted or not? I loved you. I shook my head. Love doesn't lie. Love doesn't steal. I turned to Mr. Harlan. Finish the paperwork. She's out of my life. He nodded, hesitant. Eleanor, you're sure? My voice was firm. Completely. I walked out, leaving Sophia behind. Back home, I felt lighter. The weight of betrayal lifted. I sat at the kitchen table, Arthur's photo watching me. His smile steadied my heart. You were right, I whispered. Protect myself. The shelter called me back. Clara needed help with a new resident. I went, finding purpose in their stories, women like Maria, rebuilding from nothing. Their strength mirrored mine. I volunteered more, pouring my energy into their healing. It filled the void Sophia left. Neighbors stopped pitying me. Beatrice noticed the change. You're different, Eleanor, she said over tea. Stronger. I smiled softly. I'm free. Sophia's downfall came swiftly. Beatrice brought news. She's bankrupt, she said, eyes wide. Lost the condo. No friends left. I nodded, sipping tea. She lied to them too. Beatrice leaned in. She's working 2 jobs now, cleaning offices, waitressing nights. Debts keep piling. I felt a pang, but it passed. Sophia chose her path. I heard worse later. Loan sharks hounded her, harsh men demanding payment. She'd been roughed up, Beatrice whispered. Bruises on her arms. I looked away. She built that cage. My voice was stern, no glee. Justice had its price. I rebuilt my life with purpose. Arthur's fortune opened doors. I sold 1 property, bought a cozy seaside home. White walls, open windows, ocean breeze. I traveled for the first time. Paris in spring, painting by the Seine. My old dream. Reborn. Royalties from Arthur's eco-device poured in. I founded a foundation against elder abuse. Named it Arthur's Light. It helped women like those at the shelter. Clara joined me, her smile bright. You're changing lives, Eleanor, she said. I hugged her. So are you. My heart swelled, no longer tied to Sophia's shadow. Family ties shifted. I hosted a reunion for Arthur's cousins, their children. Laughter filled my new home. Grandkids ran through the garden, their joy healing old wounds. Beatrice came too, marveling at my peace. You're glowing, she said. I laughed, voice warm. Freedom does that. I thought of Sophia, toiling under debt's weight. No resentment lingered. She was a lesson learned. I whispered to Arthur's photo at night. We're okay now. His eco-device funded my foundation, helping women escape betrayal. Purpose replaced pain. Sophia sent a letter months later. I'm sorry, Mom. I was wrong. Her words, shaky. She was in a shelter now, beaten by loan sharks. I read it once. Felt nothing. No anger, no sadness. She was a stranger now. I tucked the letter away, unopened again. My life moved forward. I painted daily, canvases vibrant with color. Friends from the shelter visited, sharing meals. Clara brought her daughter, a bright girl with dreams. I mentored her, teaching art. You're family now, I told them. They smiled, filling my heart. One evening I sat on my porch, ocean waves crashing nearby. Stars glittered above, Arthur's guiding light. I reflected on my journey. Betrayal cut deep, but it freed me. I learned freedom is priceless. Self-worth isn't tied to blood. True family is loyalty, respect, built through actions. I spoke softly to the stars. Thank you, Arthur, for strength. My life was mine again, not a victim, but a woman reborn. I helped others rise just as I had. Sophia's fate was her own. Mine was peace. I shared my story at the shelter. Women listened, eyes wide. "You're so strong," Maria said. I smiled, voice confiding. "You are too. Never let betrayal define you." They nodded, inspired. My foundation grew, saving more women. I painted a mural for them, bright colors of hope. Clara hung it proudly. "This is you, Eleanor. A light." I hugged her, tears in my eyes, not pain, but joy. I'd found my purpose. My heart was whole. Sophia faded into memory, a lesson in resilience. I was enough. Did you connect with my story? Where are you listening from? Share in the comments below. If it moved you, send a super thanks to keep these stories alive. Subscribe for more tales of strength and hope. With love and respect, I'll see you in the next one.